I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Approval and amendment of meeting agenda items. No changes.
I move to approve the April 25th, 2018 meeting agenda items as presented.
Been moved and seconded to approve the approval and amendment of the meeting agenda items. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of April 11th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Correspondence.
I have no, Mr. Chair.
Public comment. Reports. Third grade robotics
Please
presentation.
introduce Mrs. Warner, who will introduce the presentation.
Well, we have Miss Watts here, and she has brought some kiddos in there, not just from third grade, but Miss Watts teaches. And Samara is also here from the 4-H office because she's the one that comes into the classrooms to teach these classes. And I'll have Miss Watts kind of talk about what they're going to do, or maybe Samara would like to.
Well, thank you so much for having us. And Samara has brought this wonderful program to our schools, and so we were able to sign up and take advantage of it, the robotics class. And this is the first year we've done it in the third grade. But I found that with the program, it really enhances their listening. She does a wonderful job with lessons, and so every 2 weeks we have an hour of robotics in our class on Friday afternoon, so it's a perfect time. And she really works with lesson plans that get them into thinking. This last week we were using the engineering model, so she had that on the board, all the steps of things. They engineer different little objects like this to put on. This is a little jousting knight that went on top of the spheres that they come up with. And they work with, what I'm really impressed on too, is they're using math and science terms. So we're working with angles and with degrees and centimeters per second, so they're measuring, they're having to code, so they're following directions, and then other times they just get to use their creativity and come up with things. Last week we were, what's ever in your desk, you're making something that the robot can pull, and we've had races and just some really fun challenges. So I'll let her tell more about the program, and then we have some students from my class and from the 4th grade to share.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. Hello, everybody. So I work for the OSC Extension Office, and I was able to purchase these robots through a grant that I received from Umpqua Bank, and it was a STEM Resource grant. And so I've really been able to bring these robots into 3rd, 4th, and then out at Union to the 5th and 6th grade classroom. And I've seen a lot of growth in the students just from the beginning of the school year. And I've also been able to do some things after school for the kids that maybe I'm not coming into their classroom, but they still have the ability to come after school and use the bots, which has been pretty cool. I brought some students here with me, so I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, and then they wrote a little code to share with you guys. My name is McKenna. I'm from 4th grade in Mrs. Ramsey's class, and I like that I can program robots to do things that I want them to say, and that they can roll and do what I want them to do.
My name's Emma, and I'm from 3rd grade, and I like robots because you can make them dance. I'm Paige, and I'm from 4th grade. I like to free drive all of the robots.
So do you guys want to show them what you did?
Sure.
McKenna, you can start. So the robots roll on the floors, they change colors, and so if you guys can see on here, I'll just kind of quickly show. McKenna wrote a code. So this is drag and drop coding. So she was able to select from a menu things like roll at a specific angle for a certain centimeters per second, or change colors, speak, those kinds of things.
robots and they are awesome.
Oh, you got a creepy girl there, don't you? So, these robots are pretty cool. They can go super slow like McKenna did, but they can go up to 4 miles per hour. So these things cruise. And they can also go in the water and things, so the lessons we'll be doing soon are outside in the water. Would you like to go next? Speak really loudly so they can hear what you're saying. Do you want to explain what you're doing?
So I'm kind of doing a dance and some.
It is party time.
So that one's a classroom favorite. We have 12 dancing robots in the classrooms a lot of times when we do free coding. And then,
It is party.
finally, Kate, would you like to go?
Yeah.
Cheers, Cole.
So Paige used a squeaky door sound, and so some things that we've had to work with are the app will update. So we had kids from all the classrooms learn completely inside and out how to code these, and then the app updated, and all the buttons were different, and so it was like starting from scratch. So the sounds were new, the colors are new, there's different gears and lights that they can manipulate, and so they've really been pretty cool at learning all the different tips and tricks of this. And then another really cool thing is that I've been working with the high schoolers. There's a couple high schoolers who are what I would like to call teen teachers, and so Mason Harmon is one of them, and he'll be helping me with the after-school robotics program using these robots. He actually coded the robot this summer to solve the Pythagorean theorem. So that's over my head, but these high schoolers are pretty awesome, and they can go in there and actually type the code. So it's really versatile, all the way from kindergarten I've used them up through high school. So we're hoping that these robots get to stay in the classrooms and that they're reaching as many kids as we can because they're pretty awesome. Does anyone have questions for these guys or questions about what we're doing with the robots?
Does the iPad come with the robot, or is that like separate?
So that was a completely separate purchase. So through the grant, I was able to purchase the 12 robots and then a classroom set or 12 iPads. But these robots do function with Chromebooks, they function with any Android device. And I know that there are a couple teachers who do have iPads that I've tested them with, and they'll work that way too. So I'm hopeful that we can get more robots because a lot of times we're in these bigger classrooms and the kids are having to get in pairs of 3 or groups of 3 instead of just pairs or one-on-one, and so you're not getting as much hands-on time. So hopefully we can get more devices and robots soon.
How often are you coming to the classroom again?
Every other week.
Really?
So I'm teaching every week just because there are so many classrooms I'm in, but it's every other week per classroom. So, and that's been since the beginning of the school year. So it's been kind of cool to see the kids grow and learn as we go through the year of coding.
Any summer programs planned?
Hopefully, yes. So right now, there's just kind of an open, no registration required after-school science on Thursdays. That kids can drop by every Thursday in May, and that's for grades 3 through 5. So anybody in those grades, homeschool, public school, anybody can come and drop by, and we'll be working with just these robots. So that's something too that's really cool is these have no setup, so we're not having to build these every time, so it's really quick. I can roll with my blue case, just roll into the classroom and get going on a lesson, and then just roll right out. So we're using the full hour of time, which is really nice.
I'm not very versed or involved in this. Samara kind of runs her own deal with the teachers that want to do this. They're very self-starters, and they just do an amazing job with these kids. But I know that this is important to the kids. It really is, because anytime I try and go into one of those classrooms for something, the teachers will tell me, you can't come during robotics time. You cannot interrupt that time. Interrupt anything else, but not robots, because they will just, you don't want me.
Well, I know when
They'd be
they ran
disappointed.
Disappointed is yeah, an
They
understatement.
ran it in the fall, their after-school class was packed. Like,
Yeah.
Limits.
And it is pretty cool because I've talked a lot with Mrs. Ramsey, and she said that there's a lot of students in her classroom who are not usually engaged in science and math type concepts, and as soon as they get the iPads in their hands and they're able to just code and see the robot do the things they're asking it to, they're really engaged for that full hour, which has been a surprise to her, and it's been really rewarding for me to see. You have anything to add, Ms. Watts?
No, I would say that's certainly true of some students that I have too. And I know sometimes, well, all the time they do have to share, but it's been kind of nice because they're also getting that chance to work with a partner with the team and create something and take turns. And she does just a wonderful job presenting the lesson. They have to listen before anything can start, you know, that hands off, park your iPads, and so it's really, really great for instruction, listening, hands-on, and they love it. And it's reached a lot of kids that even can't do the after-school program. It's really nice.
Do you three have anything to add about the program that we missed? No, we covered all the things? Okay. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for taking amazing time. Thank you, great job.
You're more than welcome to stay, but if you want to get up and walk out. But thank you.
Although it was
Thank
like
you
a
for
short
coming.
one, so.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and continue. Next up is old business.
I have none, Mr. Chair.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, new business, 9.1, graduation.
Mr. Chavez will present the graduation format, so there you go.
Okay. So I've been working with the senior class officers and the advisors, and we're looking at how we're going to have graduation and the whole program. We've come to the school board before. So this year it's a little bit different, and so after visiting with the everybody, we came up with that we'd like a board member to welcome the crowd, because Mr. Cahill is gonna be presenting the class and saying the names as we come across. And then we need a awarding of the diplomas as well. So tonight I'm here to ask, we have a board member who has a son graduating, and so we would like to ask Mr. Gus Davison if he would like to hand out diplomas.
Sure.
And then, caught him off guard.
Anyway.
And then, Mr. Schellenberger,
I don't mind.
Mr. Schellenberger, would you like to do the welcome and then help Mr. Gus Davison hand out diplomas?
Sure.
Okay. So,
I have a nephew in it.
well, see, and I thought that there was a connection for both of you, and so we try to look at that, and
That's great.
so I think that's great. I kind of forget about that. He shouldn't be graduating. So, graduation is June 2nd, and it's at 11 o'clock. So we changed that last year, and that works better for our families and our seniors. And then the 3 o'clock, plus the gym is cooler. And so we asked that if it works for you guys to come an hour early, to have probably usually about 30 minutes early for the school board, and meet in the library. And then Mr. Cahill will take you guys in, and you'll go up on the stage. And so thank you guys so much.
We'll get you guided.
Be there when?
At 10:30. You guys could go in those front doors too if you want. However, we'll have all the doors open.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to approve 2018 LHS graduation ceremonies as presented. The ceremonies will include Mr. Gustavson, board member, and Mr. Schulenberger, board member, in honoring LCSD number 7 graduates.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the LHS graduation ceremonies as presented. Ceremonies will include Dustin Gustavson as board member and Barry Schlumberger as board member in honoring Lake County School District number 7 graduates. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 9.2.
Yes, I have put a request in your packet. I see a typo there that I'm just now catching, but anyway. To cancel the regular May 23rd board meeting in lieu of an entire work session meeting that night. We had some discussion about this last year. We were going through handbooks that we would, like to go ahead and do a very lengthy work session in order to really discuss the handbooks and go through them. We will have all of them ready by that time. I started with staff today going through the high school handbook. And the other issue that we've discussed is arming staff in schools. I've been gathering information on that I will share. We'll have Mr. Hedlund there that evening. And finally, the last thing, I'm meeting with my superintendent advisory committee meeting tomorrow. We're going to develop the goals for 2018-19 and present them to you in the work session that night for us to review, see if there's anything as far as modifications we need to do. My final goal in all this is to present the handbooks to you in consent agenda on the first June meeting in addition to the district goals. So I think it's going to be time very well spent.
It's good to hear. Any other discussion?
Will, do you want any of the law enforcement partners at this one?
No, actually, let me think on it, Jeff. If I talk to Mike Taylor, maybe Mike Taylor would be a good person to bring in.
Or will Behan, I think?
Yeah, I mean, thought about it till you mentioned it, but I'll have to, let me ponder that.
It's not a bad idea. It's definitely, I've been at some of the advisory meetings, and it's definitely been a lot more complicated issue than any of us ever would have thought of. So it's just something you guys are going to need some time to hash over and think about how the district wants to go. There'll be a lot of information. You guys are going to have to make some policy choices, so it can be kind of a necessary one. So especially if all the board can be there too, that would be appreciated. This is just, like I said, complicated issues, and more heads are better than one.
Time will that start?
Well, what do you think about 6 o'clock?
5:30? 5?
Then the board, I'm at your discretion on that.
You might want to do 5:30 with
Maybe
this
5:30?
set of issues.
We come in for a full stomach or empty?
I'll bring food in.
He's trying to sell this with some sandwiches.
Whatever I can do, food works.
If we get out by 7:30, I mean, that's.
No guarantee on that, but we'll try. Let's say 5:30, and if whoever presents the motion on this, please add start time at 5:30 to the motion.
No, we can say that.
You could say 2 work session at 5:30 p.m. All right.
I move to approve the changes made to the 2017-18 board calendar as presented. The May 23rd, 2018 board meeting will change from a regular session to a work session to begin at 5:30 p.m.
Very good.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the changes made to the 2017-18 board calendar as presented. The May 23rd, 2018 board meeting will change from a regular session to a work session beginning at 5:30 p.m. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. 9.3.
Well, I'm pleased to announce that we're coming up on Teacher Appreciation Week, and I'm going to find the resolution here. I'll read you this resolution, and then we will have a brief discussion as far as what we're doing in our buildings for Teacher Appreciation Week. So here goes. Resolution number 18, board meeting April 25th, 2018, Teacher Appreciation Week resolution, May 7th through 11th, 2018. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, now, therefore, it be resolved that Lake County School District 7 Board of Directors proclaim May 7 through 11, 2018 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. Be it further resolved that Lake County School District Number 7 Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join with it in personally expressing our appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. Adopted on this 25th day of April 2018. It goes without saying, we greatly appreciate the fine work and very tough job our teachers do day in and day out. As a district office, we're taking a token or of goodwill out to all our staff that I will deliver, I believe, on Wednesday of that week. In addition, myself, Mrs. Chavez, and Mrs. Harris are hosting a luncheon for the staff of the high school on that Friday. And Mrs. Chavez, we've been kind of building this up as we go along. What else have we developed?
So the student council leadership kids do something every day for the staff. So I talked to Ms. Mize about that. And then we're thinking about something Monday morning, maybe donuts, juice or something like that. So.
Mrs. Warner.
We have just this outstanding little party planner in our Fremont building, and Tina Kobe and your custodian plans activities every single day during these weeks. So she has small gifts for them every single day, including a little like candy bouquet, and one day is you crush student learning, and so she has an orange crush on that day, lots of different things like that. I normally take duties for all the teachers, rotate around and take their duties, and then sometimes the auxiliary staff help me out with that a little bit. And then we provide some kind of a luncheon. We haven't figured out exactly what day we're going to do that. And then like Mr. Cahill said, they'll be around on Wednesday. And then they really like those specialty drinks. That seems to be a big deal. They get to, Jess works with me, and we have they pre-order what they like, and it's delivered to them first thing in the morning for one of these kinds of days, and they really think that's nice. Because they don't always have time during the day, even lunchtime. They only have 30 minutes to get up and uptown and back if they want something like that. That's just what we're doing.
That's it.
Well, we certainly appreciate the teachers, so.
We certainly do. Goes without saying.
But you do need to move to approve that proclamation.
We'll get on it. Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 18, Teacher Appreciation Week, May 7th through 11th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 18, Teacher Appreciation Week, May 7th through the 11th, 2018 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, 10, consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Announcements.
Yes, I do have one. After 33 years, Shauna Alexander has submitted her retirement. Usually things like this you put in the consent agenda, but when a person has been with us for 33 years, merits an announcement, and good job and congratulations on retirement. She's 33 years in this district as custodian, and most recent times assistant, integrated technology assistant. So my hat's off to Mrs. Alexander, and I wish her well in her retirement. Would you like to add anything to that, since your name's on the middle too? I covered that, yes.
All right. Her efforts have been appreciated. Yes.
Can you make an announcement?
Yeah.
I suppose.
I know, maybe it's not kosher, but we are doing building reports. But we have kindergarten roundups next week at Union on Tuesday. If people ask you guys, because you have to field these questions, and Thursday at Fremont Hay in their evening sessions this year. The format is a little bit different.
Someone did ask me, there's 2 different time slots. Do parents need to register or just show up at whichever time works for you?
They can show up at either 5 or 6 next Thursday at the Fremont one.
Okay.
Thank you for indulging me.
Very happy to accommodate you. That's an announcement very worthy being presented at this meeting, so very good.
There you go.
All right. I assume we're done with announcements. Next board meeting agenda items.
Well, it's always exciting times with OSBA policy updates on the work session, and I think they are as such we can probably push them into consent agenda.
Okay.
There is nothing very earth-shaking in any of these policies, and there's very few of them this time too, which is, I shouldn't say it's good news, but I guess I'll say that, so. Anyway. Ms. Chavez will have extended school year recommendation for special education students. At that board meeting, of course, we'll have building and ASB reports. And hopefully I'll have in consent agenda some additional certified hires. really working pretty hard in the hiring process right now. Might even have a coach or two. So,
Are we gonna, it's still too early to expect the building reports of the evaluations that were just
Yeah.
done? It'll
We're
be a
looking
while.
at August.
Be like, oh yeah, midsummer. That's right.
It's gonna be a while.
Alrighty. Anything else? Alright. You ready to adjourn?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Moving seconded to adjourn the meeting, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.